Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Drunken Rant Uncensored. You know your boy Liam is back to host this shit show.
And I'm Olivia, here to get shit-faced and talk about some legal bullshit that's dumber than a box of rocks.
Oh, Olivia, you are speaking my language. That is like the perfect intro for tonight's deep dive. We're calling this one Boneless My Ass. The Ohio Supreme Court needs a fucking dictionary.
Ugh, sweet Jesus, I need a drink already. Just hearing those words makes my head spin like a goddamn tilt-a-whirl.
Well, grab your drink of choice because we're diving headfirst into a legal case so stupid it's almost impressive.
Okay, hit me with it, Liam. What kind of legal hellhole are we stepping into tonight?
So picture this. Some dude in Ohio orders boneless wings at a restaurant.
Boneless wings. Sounds delicious. What's the problem?
The problem is he finds a goddamn bone in his boneless wing. And we're not talking about some tiny-ass sliver of cartilage either. We're talking a bone big enough to send this dude to the ER with like a laundry list of injuries. A torn esophagus, surgeries, infections, medically induced coma, heart and lung damage, the whole 9 yards.
That's brutal. Are you telling me this poor bastard almost choked to death on a goddamn boneless wing? What the fuck is wrong with Ohio?
Right. And the kicker is, this poor sap, his name is Michael Berkheimer, sues the restaurant, the supplier, and even the goddamn chicken farm. I mean, the dude went all out.
Good for him. Someone needs to hold these motherfuckers accountable for this bullshit.
Well, hold on to your panties, Olivia, because this is where it gets really fucked up. The initial trial court threw the case out, like poof, gone, as if it never happened.
Oh, come on.
And guess what? It went all the way up to the Ohio Supreme Court. Not once, but twice.
Wait, you're telling me the Ohio Supreme Court actually ruled on this? Not once, but twice. And they sided with the, boneless, but not really boneless wings.
You got it. The first time was back in July, and then they just doubled down on that decision this week. It's like they're trying to make a point.
Okay, I gotta ask. How in the hell is that even legally possible? You can't just sell something as boneless when it clearly has a goddamn bone in it. That's like selling, a seedless watermelon full of fucking seeds. It just doesn't make any goddamn sense.
All right, try to follow me on this one, because the court's logic is that boneless only applies to the cooking style, not the actual absence of bones.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. So if I order a boneless pizza, I should expect, a bunch of tiny bones in the crust. Or how about a boneless margarita? Should I be worried about choking on a goddamn lime pit? This is complete and utter bullshit. It's like they think we're all fucking morons.
See? I told you were gonna need that drink. So this whole cooking style argument basically means that, according to the Ohio Supreme Court, boneless wings can still have bones. Because, it's just the way they cook them.
Are you shitting me? That's like saying a vegetarian burger can still have meat because, hey, it's cooked like a vegetarian burger. It's absolute fucking nonsense.
And here's where things get even more ridiculous. This decision opens the door for, all kinds of misleading marketing scams. If boneless doesn't actually mean boneless, then what the hell does anything mean anymore? We're living in a world where words have no goddamn meaning.
We're in a goddamn dystopia. Companies can just straight up lie to our faces, and the highest court in the state is like, yeah, that's cool, no problem. It's like they've all lost their minds.
It's almost like they're saying that consumers should just expect to be lied to. But hold on, because it gets even better. We actually have a quote from one of the Supreme Court justices defending this decision.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I can't wait to hear this legal mumbo-jumbo. Hit me with it, Liam.
Okay, here it goes. He basically said that the court should be guided by the law, not by what the public thinks.
Are you kidding me? The law? What law says that boneless doesn't actually mean boneless? There is no such fucking law. They're just pulling shit out of their asses and calling it legal precedent.
Look, I get it. You're not buying it. But here's the thing. The Supreme Court wasn't unanimous in this decision.
Really? You're telling me there's a glimmer of hope in that black hole of a judicial system?
Maybe just a tiny flicker. There were actually 3 dissenting judges who were just as pissed off about this ruling as we are.
Thank God. There are still some sane people left in that kangaroo court. Tell me, what did those brave souls have to say about this whole boneless wing fiasco?
Well, they basically called out the majority for robbing this Berkheimer guy of his right to a trial by jury. They're basically like, hey, at least let the guy have his day in court and let a jury decide if this shit is as crazy as it sounds.
Finally, someone with a goddamn brain. It seems like even the Supreme Court has a few decent folks hiding in the shadows. Give me a quote from one of those dissenting heroes, Liam. I need to hear some words of wisdom from someone who hasn't completely lost their mind.
Okay, here's one. One of the dissenting judges straight up said, The majority opinion has been, quite rightly, subjected to ridicule. And, I mean, he's not wrong.
Damn right, he's not wrong. Someone had to say it. Did he also mention that this whole thing makes the Ohio Supreme Court look like a bunch of clowns? Because that's the vibe I'm getting.
Well, he did say that if the public can't trust the judiciary to be honest about something as simple as whether boneless means without bones, then how the hell can they trust him with anything more important?
Mic drop moment. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, listeners, did you hear that? The Ohio Supreme Court can't even define boneless correctly. How in the hell are they supposed to make any decisions that actually matter? It's a good thing we have alcohol to help us forget about this legal dumpster fire. Cheers to that.
You know what else one of the dissenting judges did? He included a bunch of footnotes, in his opinion, highlighting all the public mockery this case has received. He even quoted some comedians who are ripping on the ruling.
No way. I love that judge. He's like that one friend who's not afraid to call out bullshit, no matter who it pisses off. We need more judges like him in the world. He's basically throwing shade at the majority and using the court's own documents to do it. I applaud his sass.
Exactly. He was basically like, hey, world, look how stupid this ruling is. Even comedians are making fun of it. I can't even imagine the arguments that must have gone down in the chambers while they were writing these opinions.
Seriously, I would have paid good money to be a fly on the wall during those deliberations. Can you imagine? Some stuffy old judge is probably all like, but boneless refers to like a time-honored culinary tradition, and then the dissenting judge is chucking dictionaries at him and shouting, read the definition, you pompous ass.
I know, right? It's almost too ridiculous to believe. It's like we've stepped into an alternate reality where words have no meaning and the Ohio Supreme Court is just making shit up as they go along.
It's making me question everything I thought I knew about, well, everything. From now on, I'm going to be inspecting my food like a goddamn CSI investigator just to make sure I'm not being lied to.
I think that's a good call. You never know what kind of surprises you might find lurking in your boneless wings. But on a serious note, this case raises some important questions about consumer protection and false advertising. If boneless can have bones, then what's stopping companies from getting away with all sorts of shady labeling practices? Like, what's next? Fat-free ice cream that's actually pure butter? Organic vegetables that were grown in a toxic waste dump?
You're freaking me out. But you're right, it's a slippery slope. This ruling sets a dangerous precedent. We're one step away from a world where truth is whatever the hell corporations want it to be.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder how much power corporations actually have over our legal system. It's like they're writing the rules to benefit themselves, while the rest of us are just left to deal with the consequences.
Ugh. Don't even get me started on corporate greed and the corruption of our legal system. I'm already 3 sheets to the wind, and thinking about that shit is going to send me over the edge. Let's focus on something more positive, like how much we love making fun of the Ohio Supreme Court.
Okay, fair enough. But before we go full-on party mode, let's take a step back and think about what this whole boneless wings saga means for you, the listener.
Yeah, why should you give a shit about some random dude choking on a bone in Ohio?
Well, for starters, it highlights the importance of being an informed consumer. You can't just blindly trust labels anymore. You got to do your research. Read the fine print and be aware of the potential for bullshit lurking in every aisle of the grocery store.
Damn right. Read the fine print, people, and don't be afraid to ask questions. What the hell is actually in those chicken nuggets? What are they hiding from us?
And if you do find yourself in a situation where you've been misled by a product or service, don't be afraid to speak up and fight for your rights.
Yeah.
You deserve to get what you paid for, even if it's just a plate of goddamn boneless wings.
Exactly. Know your rights, people, and don't let those greedy corporations walk all over you. Fight back. Demand justice, or at least demand a refund.
This case also highlights the importance of having a strong legal system that actually protects consumers, not corporations. We need judges who are willing to stand up for the little guy, not just the big businesses with deep pockets.
Preach it, Liam. It's a sad state of affairs when the highest court in the state can't even figure out what the word boneless means. What the hell are we paying taxes for?
It's enough to make you want to give up on society altogether and become a hermit who lives off the grid, subsisting on berries and squirrels.
Don't go full hermit on me yet, Liam. We still need you to host this podcast and rant about the absurdity of the world.
You're right. Someone's got to do it. And besides, ranting with you and drinking away our sorrows is way more fun than foraging for berries.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, this situation is pretty messed up. It's important to be aware of these kinds of legal shenanigans so you can protect yourself and your hard-earned cash.
Amen to that. So, the next time you're craving some wings, just remember, boneless doesn't always mean what it says. And if you do happen to find a bone, Don't choke on it. Sue the bastards.
Olivia, that's probably not the best legal advice, but I appreciate the sentiment. Always consult with a lawyer before embarking on any legal adventures, folks.
Hey, I'm no lawyer, but I'm full of passionate opinions. And my opinion is that this whole boneless wing ruling is a giant middle finger to consumers everywhere.
I can't say I disagree with you there. So what do you think, listeners? Have you ever been duped by misleading food labels? Share your stories in the comments below because we want to hear about your experiences with corporate bullshit.
Yeah, let's get a good old-fashioned rant session going in the comments section. Tell us about the times you've been screwed over by false advertising. We're here to commiserate, offer our drunken support, and laugh at the absurdity of it all.
So that's the lowdown on the boneless my ass case. It's been a wild ride, folks, and it's not over yet. The fallout from this ruling is just beginning.
This shit's gonna be in law textbooks for years to come. Future generations of law students will be scratching their heads wondering how the hell we let this happen.
And hopefully it'll serve as a cautionary tale for both future judges and consumers alike. But until then, we'll just have to keep ranting, drinking, and fighting the good fight against corporate greed and legal insanity.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, motherfucker.
Now, before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with a little something to ponder.
Ooh, a drunken Liam thought experiment. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Lay it on us.
So, if the Ohio Supreme Court is saying that boneless doesn't actually mean boneless, then what other words can they just redefine whenever they feel like it? It's a scary thought, right? What if they decide that justice doesn't actually mean justice? Or democracy doesn't actually mean democracy?
We'd be living in a real-life Orwell novel. A world where words have no meaning and the powers that be can just twist reality to fit their own agenda.
Exactly. It's like they're playing fast and loose with the very foundation of language and meaning. And that's a dangerous game, my friend. A very dangerous game. So the next time...
You're going down a rabbit hole here, Olivia. But it's an interesting one. I mean, imagine if they suddenly decided that freedom of speech only applied to certain types of speech, or that democracy didn't actually require, voting.
Shit, that's terrifying. We'd be living in some kind of Orwellian nightmare where the government controls language and thought.
Exactly. And that's why this seemingly ridiculous case about boneless wings actually has some pretty serious implications. It makes you question the whole concept of truth and how easily those in power can manipulate it.
Damn, Liam, you're getting all philosophical on me. But I get what you're saying. This case goes beyond just some dude getting screwed over by a misleading menu. It's about the power of language and the importance of holding those in power accountable for their words.
Absolutely. And it reminds us that even in a seemingly straightforward case like this, there can be deeper layers of complexity and nuance. So let's not give up hope. Let's channel our anger and frustration into positive action. Let's fight for a world where consumers are treated fairly and where words actually mean something.
Cheers to that. Now pass me another drink because this legal shit is giving me a headache.
You got it.
Yeah.
And remember, folks, if you're enjoying these drunken rants and insightful legal analysis, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an episode.
And don't forget to leave us a comment below and tell us about your own experiences with corporate bullshit. We love hearing from you guys.
So that's it for this episode of the Drunken Rant Uncensored. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay thirsty for justice. We'll catch you next time.